Look, when you hear the name Chris Brown, what comes to mind? For some, it's the smooth voice behind hits, like Run It or Forever, the kind of songs that get stuck in your head for days. For others, it's the electrifying dance moves that made people compare him to Michael Jackson. But let's be real, there's another side to Chris Brown that's impossible to ignore. It's the side that's been making headlines for years, not for his music, but for a string of controversies that just won't quit. His story is a roller coaster, one that's equal parts talent and trouble, and the past couple of years have only added fuel to the fire. So, let's dive into the shocking truth about Chris Brown and his latest scandals, piecing together a saga that's as messy as it is gripping. It all starts way back in 2009. Chris Brown was at the top of his game, a young R&B star with the world at his feet. His debut album had gone triple platinum, and his dance moves were the talk of every award show. Then came the night that changed everything. February 8, 2009, the eve of the Grammy Awards. Chris Brown and his then-girlfriend Rihanna got into an argument that turned violent. According to reports, Brown punched, bit, and choked Rihanna, leaving her with visible injuries, bruises, a split lip, and a swollen face. The photos that leaked afterward were gut-wrenching, and the public was stunned. Brown pleaded guilty to felony assault, accepting a plea deal that included 5 years of probation, community service, and domestic violence counseling. He was only 19 at the time, but the incident cast a long shadow over his career. Rihanna later spoke about it, saying it was a moment where she felt trapped, fending him off with her feet, wondering when it would stop. She described their relationship as one where love made them equally dangerous to each other, a haunting reflection on how toxic things had become. You'd think a scandal that big would be a wake-up call, right? For a while, it seemed like Brown was trying to move forward. He completed his domestic violence course, posted about being proud of his progress, and kept making music. His 2011 album Fame topped the charts, proving he still had fans who'd stick by him. But the controversies kept coming, piling up like a car crash you can't look away from. By 2011, he was making headlines again for all the wrong reasons. During an interview on Good Morning America, Robin Roberts asked about the Rihanna incident. Brown didn't take it well. Reports say he lost it backstage, smashing a window in his dressing room, sending glass raining down onto a busy Manhattan street. He left the building shirtless, storming out while the show's staff called security. It was a moment that showed Brown's temper wasn't a one-time thing, it was a pattern. Fast forward a few years, and the pattern only got clearer. In 2013, Brown was accused of assaulting a woman at a nightclub in Anaheim, California. She claimed he pushed her, but no charges were filed after police investigated. That same year, he got into a fight with singer Frank Ocean over a parking space. Yes, a parking space. Brown allegedly threw punches, but again, no charges stuck. Then there was the hit-and-run accusation, where a woman said Brown went ballistic after a fender bender, screaming at her. He reached a civil compromise and the charges were dropped, but the hits kept coming. In 2014, Brown served 131 days in jail for violating his probation after getting kicked out of a rehab facility for acting violently. He later admitted to breaking rules in rehab, landing him in solitary confinement for a chunk of his sentence. Each incident felt like another crack in the image he was trying to rebuild. By 2016, things escalated further. A woman called 911 claiming Brown threatened her with a gun at his Los Angeles home. Police showed up with a search warrant, but Brown refused to let them in, posting videos on Instagram railing against the cops. "When I call the police for stalker people that are endangering my life, they don't come until the next day," he said, defiant. No charges were filed, but the standoff lasted 9 hours. Then in 2017, his ex-girlfriend Karrueche Tran got a 5-year restraining order against him. She testified that Brown had become aggressive, demanding she return jewelry he'd given her and even threatened her life. The judge sided with Tran, and the restraining order was a stark reminder that Brown's issues weren't just one-off mistakes. They were a recurring theme. Now, let's talk about the latest chapter, because 2024 and 2025 have brought some of the most shocking scandals yet. In July 2024, 4 concertgoers filed a $50 million lawsuit against Brown and his entourage, claiming they were assaulted backstage after a show. The men said Brown and his crew attacked them without provocation, leaving them injured and shaken. Neither Brown nor Live Nation, the concert promoter named in the suit, responded to the allegations at the time. But the story didn't end there. In October 2024, Investigation Discovery released a documentary called Chris Brown, A History of Violence, produced by the same team behind Quiet on Set. It pulled no punches, diving into Brown's troubled childhood and laying out every major controversy, from Rihanna to Tran to lesser-known allegations. The documentary's bombshell was a new accuser, known as Jane Doe, who claimed Brown raped her in 2020 on a yacht owned by Sean Diddy Combs in Miami. Jane Doe's story is chilling. She said Brown handed her a drink, and soon after, her memory got fuzzy. She felt heavy, tired, and out of it. According to her, Brown led her to a bedroom on the yacht, where she became incapacitated and he assaulted her. Afterward, she says he texted her, asking her to take a Plan B pill, which she did out of fear and confusion. Doe didn't report it right away. She was embarrassed and struggled to process what happened. It wasn't until therapy that she realized she'd been sexually assaulted. She filed a lawsuit, but it was dismissed in 2022 for lack of prosecution, meaning she didn't push the case forward. Brown's legal team called her claims completely fabricated, pointing to text messages and voicemails they say discredited her. Still, the documentary painted a damning picture, with Doe saying she was speaking out because it was the only way he can be stopped. Brown didn't take the documentary lying down. In January 2025, he hit back with a $500 million lawsuit against Warner Bros. Discovery, the parent company of Investigation Discovery. His lawyers argued the documentary was full of lies, accusing the producers of chasing likes, clicks, downloads, and dollars at the expense of the truth. They claimed Jane Doe's allegations had been debunked and that she herself had a history of violence, citing a restraining order her ex-boyfriend filed against her for alleged harassment and threats. Brown's team framed the lawsuit as not just about clearing his name, but also about protecting true survivors of violence from having their stories undermined by what they called shoddy journalism. Investigation Discovery stood by their work, vowing to fight the lawsuit. Then, just when you thought the drama couldn't get any wilder, Brown was arrested in Manchester, England in May 2025. The charge? Grievous bodily harm, stemming from a 2023 incident where he allegedly smashed a tequila bottle over a music producer's head in a London nightclub. The producer, Abe Diao, said Brown beat him with crushing blows and stomped on him for 30 seconds, leaving him with head lacerations and torn ligaments. Diao ended up in the hospital, claiming permanent damage and severe emotional distress. Brown's team said he planned to address the issue after his UK tour, but when he didn't show up for a voluntary police interview, authorities moved in. The arrest sent shockwaves through social media, with fans and critics alike weighing in. Some called it proof of Brown's violent streak. Others argued he's unfairly targeted. The public's reaction to Brown is a story in itself. On platforms like X, opinions are split down the middle. Some fans defend him fiercely, pointing to his music and charisma. 20 years in the game and he's still selling out tours, one user wrote. Somebody's lying if they say everyone hates him. Others can't let go of his past. Seeing how my generation treats Chris Brown makes me realize how R. Kelly got away with it for so long, another user posted, drawing a controversial comparison. The debate rages on, with some arguing Brown's been unfairly judged for mistakes he made as a teenager, while others say his repeated run-ins with the law show he hasn't changed. What's the truth? It's hard to pin down. Brown's talent is undeniable. Over 140 million records sold, chart-topping hits, and a fan base that stuck with him through it all. But the allegations keep piling up. Assaults, restraining orders, and now serious claims of sexual violence. He's never been convicted of a sex-related crime, and some cases have been dropped or dismissed. But the sheer volume of accusations paints a troubling picture. The History of Violence documentary tied it all together, suggesting a pattern that stretches back to his childhood, where he witnessed domestic abuse. Brown himself has called the Rihanna incident his deepest regret, saying in his 2017 documentary, Welcome to My Life, that it made him feel like a monster. Yet he's also lashed out, telling critics to kiss his ass and dismissing accusations as lies. So where does this leave us? Chris Brown's story is a paradox, a man whose music connects with millions but whose actions keep him in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. The latest scandals, from the yacht allegations to the London arrest, have only deepened the divide. Is he a misunderstood artist, hounded by a media eager to tear him down? Or is he someone who can't escape his own demons, leaving a trail of victims in his wake? One thing's for sure. The shocking truth about Chris Brown is that there's no easy answer. His saga is far from over, and with every new headline, the world keeps watching, waiting to see what he'll do. So now you've seen both sides, the fame and the fallout. Chris Brown's story is as complicated as it is unforgettable. Do you think he deserves another chance, or has he crossed the line too many times? And with all these new scandals, can his career survive? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear what you think. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives like this.